Okay, today I'm going to be showing everyone PvP setups I use mainly for trials, but it works for all Crucible modes. So we're going to start with the Hunter, and we're going to start on the Bladedancer because that's what I'm set at already. With the Bladedancer, this is what I use. I like the Flux Grenade because in the current meta, sticky grenades are everything. So you throw that Flux Grenade and hit someone, and they're dead. I personally like the better control over the blink because I find that with blink I lose track of where I am a lot, and that puts me at a disadvantage for a lot of fights. Whereas better control, I kind of know where I'm going, and it just works for jumping above enemies and getting an advantage over them, and I just love the control of it. For the super, I like using Razor's Edge. There's been multiple times where I've gotten a kill or a clutch kill just hitting that right trigger instead of just spamming all over the place and hoping to get kills. For the melee, I like the Escape Artist for PvP and PvE, actually. This is awesome because you melee someone and you go invisible, and I'd say about 4 times out of 5 they lose track of where you are or miss a shot because of the invisibility. So if you get a quick melee on them, you have a huge advantage. Then I like rocking Path Unknown. Path Unknown's good because it boosts your recovery pretty high. And agility's high, which isn't crucial, but recovery and armor you want as high as you can get. Then going along with that, I'm still a little bit undecided on this. I think I like having recovery a little higher. The only other thing I would suggest is Way of the Drifter instead of Way of the Nomad. I like Way of the Nomad just because the recovery, usually I want to get my armor back faster, and it's just better for me, as I think a lot of times that when I disengage in fights, I want my health to come back, and I'm not so worried about taking one less shot or a slightly less damage from a gunfight. I'd rather get away and re-engage later. For this category, it all depends what you like. A lot of people like to use fleet-footed that are shotgun users and just slide into people and shotgun them. I don't think Shadowjack's a good option for PvP. Quick Draw is what I use 9 times out of 10, usually using a sniper or as a primary or secondary, really, and it's nice to just hit a body shot, switch quickly, have that weapon ready, and land another shot. This is perfect for Icebreaker and Palindrome. Just dirty, dirty, dirty. For the last category, I like to use Stalker. I like using my invisibility to get an advantage on other people. That's where I clutch it. A lot of people like to use Hungering Blade, where you get your health back after a super kill, but I find through more of the match, you get more use out of Stalker. So this is my setup for the Bladedancer itself. The armor I like to use for the Bladedancer is nothing super special. I like to have my intellect as high as I can get, well, at least to the 5th tier, so I get my super, super fast, which is pretty clutch for most PvP fights, is having your super. And next, I'd really suggest boosting your discipline if you can to get that Flux Grenade back. And I like using Bones of AO so I can get an extra jump out of it. Another good thing I like to use is the Frosties, because then you get your Flux Grenade back even faster. Then when you do boost your intellect all the way and you have Frosties on, it doesn't really matter what these are, since when you're sprinting, you get your melee and grenade back even faster. And lastly, I like using Memory of Jolder pretty much for every class. If I have no sprint cooldown, there's so many times where I've tried to sprint, couldn't do it, and got killed. Memory of Jolder just kind of gives you that ability to get away more often than not. Another thing is Memory of Gelion is the other one I use. This allows you to aim down sights and still have a radar with your primary weapons. It also gives a detailed radar, so you get 8 slices of pizza instead of 6, which is really good. But a lot of times when I'm using something like Meta Multi-Tool or Burning Eye, I already have the view of a of the radar when I'm aiming down sight with my primary. So I will rock Memory of Jolder when I'm using something where I already have that third eye perk. Second thing we're going to go through is the Nightstalker for PvP. I like using the Spike Grenade for the Wombo combo, of course, and I like using Snare along with it. Snare is nice because if you don't hit someone right away, when they come past it, then they take the damage. I mean, Envenomed is good too, but that's more if you know you're going to hit them. You got to play with what you like, but I like Snare, so when people come by it, they get hurt. That way, if I miss or screw up, chances are I'll still maybe get somebody. And the Spike Grenade, I love a lot. If you place it right, you're going to melt people, and it's just the most beneficial thing you can do. Then I like using Triple Jump. I just like it because then it kind of gets rid of the need for Bones of AO to be equipped. So I just like the extra jump, and you get used to it, and it's really nice to have. Then I usually like using Black Hole. Usually what I try and do with the Night Stalkers, get one kill, and hopefully there'll be other people around that I can tether along with them and take them out. And it's super nice, super quick, and then it's easy to win gunfights as soon as you use that. Shuts down supers, and that way you're also not focusing too much on your super instead of trying to aim every shot and not having a weapon out. I think this is very helpful to have. Then I use Path Unknown just to get my armor as high as I can, and that way I don't sacrifice any recovery really, and we get highest armor. Then I like using Lockdown. So then the Snare Grenade and the Spike Grenade does damage for longer. Just super nice. Way easier to kill people with the Wombo combo. Then I use Way of the Fearless. So you pretty much boost your armor. And no sacrificing armor for agility, since agility is not super crucial. And then I like using Keen Scout. The only other thing I'd say is Shade Step if you wanted, but this is why you use the Graviton Forfeit, the helmet that gives you Shade Step. Because if you use Keen Scout, then you get the enhanced radar. When you're aiming at someone, a little target comes up over them and you can see where they are behind walls for a little bit. And when you're crouching, you walk faster. So super nice. And now for the armor with the Nightstalker. I like using Graviton Forfeit. Like I said before, it gives me the Shade Step so I can optimize my Nightstalker class. Then all legendary armor, doesn't matter, you can pick and choose depending on what weapons you use the most. Chest piece, use one that increases void armor, pretty straightforward stuff. And again, Memory of Jolder or Memory of Galeon, depending on what primary weapons you use, and if you find yourself having to disengage a lot, Jolder. If you want to use something like a No Land Beyond, Galeon is really good, but not super crucial since we already have Keen Scout on and you have the enhanced radar. And lastly, we have the Gunslinger subclass. I like having Trip Mine on, super useful, plant it on a wall, hit someone from behind, does a lot of damage, stays there for a while, it's great, great, great. Triple Jump, love the third jump, super fun, easy to get used to, easy to use. Eliminates the need for Bones of AO and PvP. Great. Then Gunfighter, get your super quicker pretty much. That's what you want. Throwing Knife catches enemies on fire. Incendiary Blade, awesome, does damage over time, helps your teammates get kills, helps you get kills. And if you get good with your Throwing Knife, this is a devastating perk to have on. And then we like Path Unknown. No sacrifice to armor, no sacrifice to recovery. Best thing you can do there. This is a tough one. Way of the Drifter. You don't want to sacrifice recovery too much. The hunters are naturally going to have lower armor anyways, so might as well have on Way of the Drifter. It optimizes your recovery and armor the most you can without too much of a sacrifice to one or the other. There's a lot. You can go with whatever. If you're really good with the Throwing Knife, you can use Gambler's Dagger. I like Over the Horizon, get the extra range. You can do a lot of damage from a lot farther, devastating other teams, especially in trials. If you're able to pull off some good shots across map, beating snipers, this is awesome to have on. Alright, now for the armor. Like I said before, we put on that trip mine, put on young Ahamkar's spine, you get that extra trip mine, and it lasts for longer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You can re-roll until you get a good perks that you like to use. I like the hand cannon reload because I usually use Palindrome Icebreaker, because who doesn't? And then again, Memory of Jolder or Memory of Galeon, depending on which one you like. Alright, well, thank you for watching the hunter setups for each class. Hope you guys liked it and learned something and this helps you. Good luck to everyone.